Hello and welcome to our discussion today on strategic time management. Today, we want to have a brief introduction of the course, strategic time management. And basically, what we'll be doing today is to explain the significance of strategic time management, to identify common challenges in managing time, explore the benefits of effective time management, and then review some key time management theories and their applications. Okay, this review will be very brief because as we progress in the course, we are going to be dealing with some of these theories in detail. So for today, we are just going to have an overview, a general overview of the theories. So, what is time management, right? If we say time management, everybody knows what time is. Time management refers to the ability to use your time effectively or productively. So, for every individual, we have some number of hours available to us in a day. So, everybody has 24 hours available to them. Your ability to make use of that time effectively and productively is what we call time management. So, time management is the ability to use your time effectively or productively. We all know that time is a limited source, and the moment you lose time, you cannot regain that time back. So, time is a limited resource. Because time is limited and there are a lot of things that have to be done within some limited time, it is important to align the use of time with some specific goals and priorities, right? So that by the end of a specific period, there are some things that would have been achieved and there are some things that would have been done. And that is what shows that the time is being used effectively or productively. Okay. So what then are some of the importance of time management? Time management, the first importance is that it enhances productivity and efficiency. If you're able to manage your time well, you are able to do a lot of things within a short period of time, right? And you're able to achieve a lot within some specific time. You also notice that when you're able to manage time well, it reduces stress and decision fatigue, right? You realize that you are able to plan things well, allocate time for whatever thing that has to be done. And so you realize that once this is done, there's a reduction in the stress levels as well as um decision fatigue. Okay. It has also been shown that time management improves academic and professional performance. So whether you are a student, a worker, whatever it is you find yourself in, if you are able to manage your time well, it improves your performance academically as well as professionally. And then it supports a work-life balance. We hear of people who are not able to really balance family life and work as well as schooling and all other extracurricular activities. If you are able to manage your time well, you realize that there is a work-life balance. You are able to handle things that you have to do in a way that is more balanced and in a way that does not stress you up and does not mess up your what you have built over time. Some people get to lose family, get to lose marriage in the name of schooling or in the name of working. Okay, so once you're able to manage time well, it supports the work-life balance. So research has found that effective time managers or people who manage their time well are able to experience a higher job satisfaction. So employees who are able to manage their time well on the job, at the end of a specific period, they record a higher job satisfaction than those who do not manage their time effectively. It has also been found that time management is positively correlated with academic success. What it means is that if time management is effective, then academic success will be high. If time management is ineffective, it will result in a low academic performance, right? And it has also been found that some of these contemporary tools like Trello, Google Calendar, you have Microsoft Planner, all of these contemporary tools that are used to plan time. All right, they support a structured time allocation. What this means is that if you are able to employ some of these digital tools and use them effectively, you'll be able to structure your time well in a way that makes you more productive. Okay. What then are some of the challenges for which people are not able to manage their time well? Okay, there are some challenges that prevent people from managing their time well. One of such challenges is procrastination. All right, you keep pushing the task ahead or delaying the work that has to be done. So if you have a problem with procrastination, then it's very difficult to manage your time. Another challenge is task overload, where people feel overwhelmed by all the tasks that they have to perform. And so, based on that, they are no more productive, they are no more efficient at the work that they are doing. Okay, so task overload is a major challenge that affects time management. Another challenge is poor prioritization, where people are not able to arrange the tasks or the activities they have to perform in an orderly manner, with the most urgent or the most important ones coming first and then the other ones later. Okay, so if people are not able to prioritize their tasks well, then it affects time management. So poor prioritization is a major challenge. Then the last challenge are distractions. So sometimes people are involved in activities or they have tasks to complete. And then you'll notice that for every 5 minutes, they have to leave what they are doing, go and work on something and come back. By the time they come back, it has to take them a long time before they get back to where they were before they left the task that they were performing. Okay. Now we have social media, people go on WhatsApp, and in as frequent as every 5 minutes, people get notifications, email notifications, friends visiting them, and they have to pause the work they are doing, attend to those friends, respond to messages, respond to emails. All of those are distractions that does not it does not go well, or it does not encourage proper time management. So these hinder time management. So you have challenges like procrastination, task overload, and poor prioritization, as well as distractions that hinder time management for several people. So if people are not able to manage their time well, the effect is that it increases stress and burnout. So a lot of people who are stressed out and are experiencing burnout is because they are not able to manage their time well. Okay, so the effect of poor time management is increased stress and burnout. It also results in missing of deadlines. So you realize that several people are not able to work within the schedules that they have to work in. If they are given timelines, they are not able to meet those timelines because they are not able to manage their times well. So people are always on the run. People are always late for submission of assignments, submission of reports, submission of projects, completion of projects, and all of those. Okay, all of those are the impact of poor time management. It also results in a reduced cognitive performance. You realize that the brain is not able to function as effectively as it would anymore because maybe you have piled up a lot of tasks and you are performing all of them at the same time. Okay, so based on that, the performance of the brain reduces. All right. However, if you're able to plan your time well and schedule things well, you have enough time for rest. Okay. And then the last effect has to do with the multitasking. So you'll notice that people become no more efficient in multitasking. And even if they multitask, you realize that their productivity reduces by up to 40%. Okay, so people tend to make mistakes, people tend to have an increased error in the task that they are performing because their time was not managed well. What then are some of the benefits of effective time management? The first one is that you are able to better control stress. Okay, so you have better stress control and emotional well-being. There's also an improved decision making because your brain is clear, your mind is clear, everything is laid down, everything has a set time for it. And so you are able to have an improved decision making, right? You also realize that there is an enhanced academic and career progression because everything is timed. And then finally, it facilitates personal growth and lifelong learning, which are very important for every individual who wants to develop. Okay, so time management is very, very important. So now we look briefly at some of the theories that surround time management. And the first one we look at is the Covey's time management matrix. All right, we will look at this in detail as we progress, but this one has 4 quadrants. Okay, and the 4 quadrants, you have them grouped in either urgent or not urgent, as well as important or not important. So here you have tasks which are urgent and important. You can also have tasks which are urgent but they are not important. Then you can have tasks which are not urgent, but they are important. And then finally, you have tasks which are not urgent and not important. So depending on where a particular task falls, you notice that you have to give it priority. So if a task falls in quadrant 1, where you have the task being urgent and important, then it means that you have to attend to it immediately, right? It requires all the time. So if there's a deadline, you have to meet that deadline. If there's a problem, that problem has to be attended to. In the case of a crisis, it means that your attention is needed urgently. Okay. Then there's the second quadrant where the activity or the task is not urgent, but it's important. Okay, so you have relationship building, you have where you get to find new opportunities, long-term planning, preventive activities, personal growth, and recreation. All of these are activities in the second quadrant. They are not urgent, but they are important. They have to be done. Okay. Then in the third quadrant, you have activities or tasks which are not important, but they are urgent, like responding to emails, responding to phone calls, attending meetings, popular activities, pressing issues that have to be addressed. All of those are urgent, but most of the times they are not important. All right. Then in the fourth quadrant, you have activities which are not urgent. They are also not important. All right. So this is where you can have some calls or emails which will not really add on anything to you. Time wasters, people visiting you at your table and chatting, right? Some activities, attending parties and all of those, they really don't add on anything, right? So in planning your time or in managing your time, this matrix can be used, and based on where a particular activity or a particular task falls, it makes you know how to prioritize that activity and how much time to make for that activity. Okay, so that's the COVID time management matrix. Like I said earlier, we will look at these theories in detail as we progress. Then there's also the Parkinson's law, right? And the Parkinson's law states that for every task that you have to perform or for every activity that has to be done, it will expand to fill the time that is available. So, for example, if you have to write a report and you have 1 week within which to write the report, it can be done. And then if you also have a month to write the report, that work or that report can expand to fill that 1 month. So something that could have been done in a week can expand and be done in like a month. So what this means is that for for employees, for students, for anyone who wants to manage his or her time, it is better to set shorter deadlines rather than give yourself so much time, because when you give yourself the time, that task will expand to fill whatever time that you have made available. Okay. So it's important that you set up shorter deadlines so that you are able to focus on the activity that has to be done. And it also helps to improve um, efficiency. Then you have the Pomodoro technique. All right. And this one says that for every 30 minutes, you work in 25 minutes intervals and then you take 5 minutes break. So for example, if you have like 2 hours to work, all right, you take the first 30 minutes, work for 25 minutes, take 5 minutes break, come back to work for 25 minutes, take 5 minutes break, in that order until you exhaust the time that is available for carrying out that work. And what this technique does is that it enhances concentration and reduces fatigue. So by the time you take the short break and you come back, your system is refreshed and you are able to concentrate better than you would if you continued straight for like 3 hours without any break, right? And it also reduces fatigue. Then you have the Hofstede cultural dimensions. And this one focuses on the time orientations, whether you want to look at the monochronic or the polychronic time orientation. So based on a particular culture, right? Based on where you find yourself, based on the location you find yourself, there are ways that tasks are performed. In some cultures, tasks are performed in a linear manner. Linear meaning that you finish one thing, end it completely, close up on that chapter, and then you start another thing, right? So until you finish one task, you don't start the other one. That is monochronic. When it comes to the polychronic, you realize that in some cultures, people are able to multitask. So at a particular time, several things are being done. Okay, that is the polychronic time orientations. And what this means is that it's important to know where you are working in at a particular time so that you are able to adapt. So you realize that there's an influence of culture on the perception of time. So for some people, within a particular time, only one activity can be done. And for other people, within a particular time, you have several activities that are done concurrently. Okay. And this is very important because if, for example, you move from where you are working in currently to a different location, then based on the orientation that the group of people you are with will use, you may also have to adapt to what is being done in that situation. Okay. Like I said, we'll discuss all of these in detail. Based on all of these theories, it is important that as an individual, you find a way of merging them or integrating them so that you would have your productivity improved or you will have an increased productivity, right? So you can combine the Covey and Pomodoro for goal-oriented or goal-aligned productivity, right? And then in a case where someone is faced with procrastination, they may want to use the Parkinson's law. All right. But in every context, you need to apply what would work best. All right. I believe this is clear. So, as an individual, you may not necessarily stick to just one theory and say, as for me, I'm working with just Covey, or I'm working with just Parkinson, or I'm working with just Pomodoro. At every point in time, you should be able to integrate the theories into one that works best for the individual, right? So, would end with some of these practical steps. Like I said, today is just an introduction, so we'll look through this in detail. So, there's a need to set SMART goals. If we say SMART, right? SMART is an acronym. By now, you should know SMART, but your goals should be simple, they should be measurable, they should be actionable, they should be realistic and time bound. Okay, so you should be able to set SMART goals, goals that can be measured, goals that can be completed in a particular time period, right? And then on a daily basis, it is important to prioritize your tasks. Okay, and then, if possible, with all the digital tools that are available, if it is possible, you would want to use some of these tools for reminders, for scheduling your activities, for prioritizing activities which have to be done, and all of that. And then, as time goes on, excuse me. As time goes on, you should be able to review and adjust the plans that you have. Sorry, that you have come up with. Okay. So to conclude, time management is very critical. It's a very critical life skill that everybody has to adapt. That we all have to adapt. Sorry about that. And there are approaches that enhance both productivity and the well-being. So we realize that with the approaches that we have looked at and will look at in detail as the course progresses, these approaches help you increase productivity on one hand, and they also help your well-being on the other hand, right? And the theories provide a framework for practical application. And it is important um, to be able to manage time use, because as we are able to plan our time well and schedule activities and tasks, it leads to long-term personal and professional success. Okay. So, for our discussion in class, I'd want you to consider or think about your biggest time management challenges as an individual. Okay. So think about some of your biggest time management challenges. And the second activity or the second step of this activity is to tell us how you have applied or how you intend to apply these strategies in your studies or in your work. Okay, so some of the strategies we have discussed, you tell us how you intend to make use of them at work or in school. But most importantly, I want you to consider your biggest time management challenges, right? Once we are able to identify those challenges, then you know where the problem is and how to tackle that problem. Thank you very much. Let's meet in class for further discussions. Bye-bye.